pick up a comment from a person called Gustavo Heinlein, who says, I despair. How stupid or ignorant or even malevolent do you have to be to publicly assert an association between National Socialism and Israel? I don't think I did, first of all. But secondly, I think it's I think it's necessary to make a clear distinction, and I don't really like these paper tiger responses, but if they occur, I will answer them. Drawing a parallel between Israel and the Nazi regime is historically false, morally offensive, and intellectually dishonest. The Nazi regime orchestrated the industrial-scale extermination of 6 million Jews, along with millions of others, through a racist ideology that sought total annihilation and racial superiority. The Holocaust was not merely a war crime, it was a genocide rooted in eugenics and the belief that Jews were a subhuman contagion. Israel, by contrast, is a sovereign democratic state founded as a homeland for the Jewish people in the wake of the Holocaust. While its policies, especially those driven by right-wing governments, can and should be scrutinized, they're not genocidal in nature. Holocaust comparisons minimize the real horror of the Shoah and instrumentalize Jewish suffering to attack Jews, which in itself is a form of anti-Semitism under widely accepted definitions. But calling out Netanyahu and the Israeli far right is not anti-Semitic. It's necessary. And criticism of Benjamin Netanyahu and his coalition is not just valid, it's imperative for anyone who values human rights and international law. The settler movement in the West Bank, which has been actively encouraged and funded by Netanyahu's governments, represents a flagrant violation of international law, namely the Fourth Geneva Convention, and these settlements undermine any possibility of a viable two-state solution. Far-right ministers, such as Bezalel Smotrich and Itamar Ben-Gvir, have openly espoused racist and supremacist ideologies and pursue policies that entrench occupation and the humiliation of Palestinians. The war in Gaza, particularly since October the 7th, 2023, has involved indiscriminate destruction on an unprecedented level. Tens of thousands of civilians have died, critical infrastructure has been obliterated, and essential services, water, healthcare, and electricity have been systematically dismantled. This is collective punishment, and the penalization of a civilian population for the actions of Hamas is explicitly prohibited under international law. And the siege that the IDF have enacted on Gaza comes very close to the sort of treatment that Britain developed in its concentration camps in South Africa. One can condemn Hamas as a terrorist organization that commits war crimes and glorifies martyrdom, and simultaneously condemn the disproportionate, indiscriminate, or deliberately punitive response from the Israeli government. Indeed, I think one should. One can defend Israel's right to exist and defend its people without endorsing its current government's most extreme policies. One can mourn for Jewish victims of terrorism and for Palestinian victims of military occupation, and understand that recognizing the humanity of one doesn't negate the humanity of the other. Equating Israel with Nazi Germany is a grotesque falsehood that erases history and poisons discourse. But silence in the face of right-wing Israeli policies that brutalize civilians, expand illegal settlements, and obliterate Gaza's infrastructure is not solidarity, it's complicity. True moral and political integrity lies in distinguishing between the ideals of Israel, the realities of its current leadership, and the universal imperative to uphold justice, even and especially when it's uncomfortable.